Hey gang, that was the opening solo and the solo to Lynyrd Skynyrd's epic Tuesday's Gone. A great solo to learn if you're really starting out in soloing because it doesn't have that many notes and you can focus on getting those notes and bends right. We'll go through it note for note in just a second. I do have the tab in the description below. And as always, click the like button if you like it. If you haven't yet, subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for songs or lessons that I might do in the future, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, here we go with the note for note. All right, gang. First things first, download the tab if you haven't yet from the description below. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Okay, before we get into the note for note, let's talk just a little bit about the sound. I'm obviously using a Les Paul playing out of the bridge pickup. But the main thing is you want a guitar with some, not distortion, but a lot of gain because you want some sustaining notes. So key thing is to have a lot of gain cranked on your guitar so that you get some sustain. I think I detect a little bit of flanger in there. So I have a little bit of flange, just a touch on that. If you have a flanger, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But it just adds a little bit of undulation to that. All right, let's go through the chords first. So the chords to the opening, and they're going to be the same chords that we play both solos over, are these chords. A, E, F minor, D, now A, E, back to D. And then we're going to end back on that A. All right, so that's a chord structure that we're playing over. All right, let's get going on the, first I'm going to do the opening solo. And the two solos are so similar, but we'll do them separately, of course. Both of these, I think most of the notes, with the exception of one or two, can be thought of as playing out of the A major pentatonic scale. So I'm going to show you this in the second position, okay? Starting from the A that's on the 5th fret on the 1st string. We'll just do this really slowly, or relatively slowly. So we're going to be playing a lot of things out of that, and we're going to be using a couple of standard bends. The one that we're going to do the most is this one on the 3rd string 4th fret, which is like this. And that is a pretty standard bend that you hear in a lot of songs. Okay, so that'll come in handy if you're not familiar with that one. All right, so let's do the first solo. So the first solo kind of goes, the first part of the first solo goes like this. We'll go through it note for note, but just something to think about. When you're playing those bends in particular, it really helps if you do a nice strong stroke. So what I'm doing is I'm playing downstrokes on that. And also on the landing notes, if you can play a downstroke, it's going to be nice and strong, and make it a nice strong downstroke if you can. And give it some vibrato too. So if you keep downstrokes nice and strong and give it a little vibrato, I think that's going to go a long way in this solo. Okay, here's the first part. We're going to bend on that third string, 4th fret, up and down twice. So we're going to bend a full step up and down twice. I overbent a little bit on that. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. First time you land on the on the third string, 2nd fret. Second time you land on the 4th string, 2nd fret. The third time you bend it 3 times up and down. And land on the 4th string, 4th fret. All right, so here's that whole piece in the beginning. To end it up, we're going to play on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then the 5th string, 5th fret, and hammer on, pull off to the 4th and hammer back on to the 5th. Okay? Now if you want to pick all those, that's okay. That sounds great as well. So that's the first part. Here's the second part. I played part of the other guitars there, namely that. But it's pretty neat, so I thought I'd show it to you. All right, so anyway, the second one starts out with a very standard hammer-on sequence. We're going to go starting on the 5th string, 2 to 4. Then we're going to do on the 4th string, 2, 4. Then on the 3rd string, 2, 4. And then we're going to bend up that 4th string and hold it. Give it a lot of sustain. Here's where you really need a nice strong stroke. Now, while that's still up sustaining, we're going to also put our pinky on the 5th fret of the 2nd string so that we can play coming down. So like this. So notice that time I played the 3rd and 2nd string. So you're going to come down to the 4th, then play the 2nd, and finally play the 4th on the 4th string. So now I pull off instead of picking on that from the 4th to the 2nd, but you can pick if you want. It's okay. Okay. The next part is a couple of double stops. So we're playing, if you think about it, we're going to make a little, I guess this is like an E power chord. We're going to play the E on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and we're going to play the B on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and we're going to pick them both at once. Now, I use a pick and fingers technique where I'm using my middle finger on the 3rd string and my pick on the 4th string, and I'm picking up. I'm plucking that. Now you'll slide up 2 frets, then back, and then hit an open D. Okay? All right, now in this case, what I'm doing, playing that other guitar's part, I'm playing the open D. Then I'm also still using pick and fingers. This is a bit of an advanced technique, but if you haven't seen it before, all it is really kind of using your pick and your middle finger and your 3rd finger. So I'm playing the open D, the open E with my third finger, and then with my second finger I'm playing the second string, which is on the 3rd fret. Three of those, and now I play the following sequence. All right, so that's 6, 7 on the 3rd string, 6, 7, 9, back to 6, and then 4th string on the 7th. And that's back on that A chord. All right, we'll do the second solo now. Let me demo the whole solo. It's almost the same, but it's just a little bit different, and we'll cover it. Okay, so here is the second solo. So very, very similar, but there's just a couple of differences. We'll start with the first line. So the first line being this. I'm sorry, in the first line, the first time we did it in the opening was that. But here we're going to cut it off on the second time we go up. All right, another standard trick that is often employed. So this time we're going to cut it off when we play it up. We're going to bend it up and then cut the note off. You can either do it with the right hand or your left hand or a combo of both. Okay, so that's the first part. That line is exactly the same. All right, here's the third line. That's almost the same, but instead of playing, we're playing like it's cut off a little bit. So the first time you play it, you cut off, you choke off that note when you bend, and then you play the second again and bend it up twice. So like so. Again, play the 4th on the 4th string. So that's starting again with that A on the second, and then this time it's slightly different. You're going to pull off on the 4th from the second to the, I'm sorry, from the 4th, on the 4th string from the 4th fret to the 2nd fret. And then play the 5th on the 5th string. Okay, now instead of the, we're going to play. So that is starting from the 5th on the 5th string. We're going to play that note. Second on the, so that's the 2nd on the 4th string, 4th, and then back to the 2nd. And now we're going to go to the 3rd and bend it up. Bend it up full, play it, and then play the 2nd. So just practice that until you get it nice and flowing. That's probably the hardest line in there. Okay, here's the next part. All right, this is one of the few slides that are in there. We're going to bend up that note on the 4th, bring it down and pull it off to the 2nd, and then play it. Nice hard pick, slide up to the 6th and back again. Give it nice vibrato when you slide back. Okay, here's the last line. Okay, so that line is all on the 2nd string. And this is a nice one as well to get to really get the notes right and to play this one really hard. Okay, so it's a nice little practice. So we're going to start out by playing the 5th fret, sliding up to the 7th. Remember, this is all on the 2nd string. So 5th fret, slide up to the 7th. And then play the 5th again. then play the 10th. All right, and now you go all the way up to the 17th, and we're going to play a whole step bend. And you're going to bring it down then and just play the 17th. So you're going to play that whole step bend and then bring it down to the 17th like so. Let's try that again. I like giving some vibrato on it. You can even hit the 17th again if you want. And that sounds great. Just play a nice strong downstroke and give it a little vibrato, and we're done. All right, Lynyrd Skynyrd's Tuesday's Gone. Hope you like that one, and we'll see you on down the road.